today we're being joined by Jordan Membrey from the Gold Coast AFLW side. Jordan, thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you for having me.
Right, anytime. Tell us a bit about yourself. What kind of got you into the football side of things all the way back when you were a junior, Jordan?
So when I grew up, I was part of the area where girls weren't allowed to play footy past a certain age group, and so I'd end up just playing a lot of netball and throughout my junior years. And my granddad, he actually played for Footscray, and my brother and my dad played throughout their years too. And I was surrounded by it, and I was a Footscray supporter growing up through and through. And then I got to I was living in Queensland as well, so which is obviously a barrier to play AFL, especially back then. And then I got to the point where I was playing pretty competitively netball, touch footy, and I was like, I just want to change, a bit of change. And they were just starting up a Gold Coast junior comp actually, and I was very fortunate enough to get amongst that and played down at Carrara Saints. And there's only 3 teams within the comp, and there was ourselves, Carrara, Broady, and Surface, and we played one game a week, had a bye every second week, and first, second, and third at the end of the year. But that's where my footy journey started, there down at Carrara Saints. When I was 15, I picked up the sport.
Very nice. So now, in terms of the AFLW side of things, Jordan, you've obviously been through the ring. Obviously started with the Brisbane Lions in 2017. How were you at that time to make your AFL debut against the Giants, I believe? Must be nice to get the victory in that game as well.
Yeah, sorry, what was the question again?
About playing for Brisbane, obviously in your first year of AFLW representing the Brisbane Lions. How were you back then when you started, and how was that debut game? Obviously, you got the win in that game, so how was that time for you?
Yeah, it was, 21, long time ago. Awesome experience. It was the start of the AFLW there, and I got to play with all the girls that I grew up playing with in Queensland footy, and be led by the likes of Emma Zilke, Leah Kasler, surrounded by a lot of veterans that have now moved on, and learned a lot in that area. We were very fortunate. I was to have Dan Merritt, Brent Staker, David Lake, and obviously Craig Big Dog at the top there. And we were, it was a very, very hard team to get into due to we were performing quite well as underdogs that season. And I was just fortunate enough to get a chance that round. I was training pretty well, but I was actually training in the back line, and that was pretty rock solid and quite hard to get into. And there was an opportunity that came up in the forward line, and I was like, yep, happy to take that. And got in, and I was very fortunate. My first kick was a goal, and that's a pretty exclusive club to be a part of. And Zilk still to this day says that I owe her a coffee for giving me the handball. So no, it was awesome, and that feeling, get your teammates getting around you and singing that song that day was pretty unreal.
That's good. And I mean, even they talk about that exclusive club, Jordy, that you speak about. It's nothing better than joining that club. And then you shipped over to the Pies, obviously having that 1 year at Brisbane. But then there was another part where you're at the Pies and you're out of the Pies and then back to the Pies. How do you feel during that the whole stage? You're going in and out, and then you were set there for 4 years?
Yeah, I was. So I actually wasn't really planning on getting onto another list that year that happened. I was with the Suns in a winter series comp, and just really trying to get back into my footy and the love of it. And I was coming back from bit of an ankle issue that I had up at Brisbane, and sorted that off kind of in the off season there, and just really wanted to focus on just enjoying it and getting back to the love of it. And to get a phone call from Bergs one evening after uni, and I flew down and had a really, really good interview, and then was drafted that year. And I was actually on a prac as well, teaching prac, and then I had a week to turn my life around and get down to Victoria, which was awesome. My partner at the time, he and I drove down, and then had a pretty relatively okay season. And then at the end of the year was a bit of a shock, myself and a few of the other teammates, to depart the club. But unfortunately, that's the way it is, the business. And however, I was pretty certain that I wasn't done yet, and so because of that, and they wanted me to play in their VFL, and it was a bit of a numbers game. So I'm pretty honest with me, and I had a pretty good open relationship with the list manager at the time. And then from there, I was like, no, not done yet. So I came back up to Queensland for a couple of weeks to finish off some uni things, and then went back down and played with Hawthorn, and it was one of the best experiences. I think I had some new eyes, wasn't no biased opinion, some coaching staff, got to meet some new people, and that year I also went over to Cambodia and taught English for 3 weeks, and I think all of that just encompasses just a bit of different experiences. And then Wayno ended up leaving with Pies, and a new coach came on with Steve Simons, and I had an interview with him and Bergs, and they were pretty keen to get me back on the list. And I was really wanting to go back to the Pies. I had no malice with the club, really enjoyed that place, and wasn't done, as I said, yet. And the girls there were incredible. So I had a really good meeting with them, and had a few meetings with some other clubs too. And I was pretty honest with Bergs at the time, saying, look, I'm seeing I'm just getting some interest at other clubs. I don't want to go anywhere else, but I'm not willing to not take other opportunities either. Obviously, they're all wanting that same kind of goal to get back on that list. And then I was fortunate enough to get picked back up by the Pies, and just the value that I had from the girls, like coming back in, was just incredible. And I was very, very fortunate to go back there and pretty much go straight back in from where I left off. And Steve was awesome for my time there, and I've got some really good relationships at the clubs. And as I said, it's a business. There's no malice within anything that happens. Just unfortunate sometimes you can't fit numbers into everything. So
That's fair. Then obviously at the end of that 2022 season, obviously you moved over to the Suns. What kind of prompted that move to go back home? I'm assuming the home factor might have been part of the reason.
Definitely a home factor was wanting to get back up this way. And I think I've had a bit of previous history with this club, and I've got some really good relationships that I had built early on. And definitely just wanted to get back up into the sunshine, and I think that was a massive driving factor for me. And I think also a slight that number 21 was available, so that was definitely a pull there.
So obviously then, Geordie, last year playing your first year officially in the AFLW competition for the Suns. How was that season for you? Obviously the girls made finals as well. So how did you assess last year, and what do you take into that from then to now into this year?
Yeah, we had a pretty unreal year. We worked really hard across the pre-season and in the season, and just growing. We've got a pretty young list, and just growing and building that consistency amongst the group. I think now we've had a really solid off season. It's been probably one of the biggest ones that the AFLW have had in quite some time. And I think with the 12-month contracts now, we can actually commit some more time to our craft and to our job as such. We don't have to be having too much outside job if you don't want to and can afford not to. So I think that definitely shapes a lot of what happens in the future. And I think we will learn a lot from our final series with being at Heritage, or People's First now, and take that on. And Joycey has been great in driving that, and we've lost a few soldiers on the way, but we've gained definitely quality people and quality team members that will help us move forward to what our goal is, which is we want to be up there challenging the best and being the best.
What would you say is some of your biggest strengths, Geordie, as a footballer? Obviously mainly playing up forward, but what would you say is some of your strengths?
I think one of my strengths is I build relationships pretty well and keep in touch with those. Like we've got a pretty solid group that have come together through the AFLW system, and we're all at different clubs now, but we're pretty rock solid. And I think that's one of my strengths. And I've had a lot of experience within the AFLW as a coach and a player, from academies right up now to be playing obviously in the big league. And I think that I can take that into especially some of the junior girls coming through. And I think that's quite important. I balance a lot of work and footy, and also I've had a lot of experience being in the team, out of the team, off for a year due to ACLs or not contracted, delisted, redrafted, traded, all the above. So I think I've got a bit of all the experiences, which definitely shapes me as a person and a footballer, and I can take that definitely on to giving off to some of the juniors coming through.
Yeah. Of all the players that obviously you had a fair few obviously exit in the trade period, Jasmine Smith, Bess Keeney, and some others as well that left the club. Who's some players that have either come in through the trade or the draft period that some of the Suns fans can look forward to this upcoming season?
The girls that are coming in that got traded or drafted, or there's a young girl, Kiara Bisher. She's actually taught her last year as well through at PBC in our program, and she is a quiet achiever, a very hard worker, rock solid in defence, and she'll be one definitely to look out for. She's unreal little player.
Yeah, that's good. Now, obviously, Geordie, the fixture came out today. Obviously, I had a quick look at it so far as we're recording. It's only a few hours after it's come out. At first glance, what are your thoughts on the fixture for the Suns this year?
Yeah, I think very deserving for us. Like we've only we got a home game to start off with, and a few of them. Just trying to have a quick relook now because I don't know it off heart. As you said, it's just come out, and look, I think going up to Great Barrier Reef again, which we have really good ties, and up there at Mackay and getting that in early, I think is beneficial to both teams, and also the community up there. I'm very fortunate enough to not get over WA. That's always a big trip. So pretty happy to not have to go west. I think, we deserve the fixture that we get due to our position of last year. And as I said, we've been working really hard in the off season, and we're up there ready to give it a red hot crack and challenge the best. And midweek, I think it ties in with this couple of school holidays. Maybe not all, but I think unfortunately, we can't get the 11 games across 11 weeks, but we'll take what we can get and to at least get those 11 games, which is super important to us.
So we're going to talk about that midweek, 2 games in 1 week, Geordie. Are you happy that you get to play 2 weeks off and you can kind of focus on footy a little bit more than any outside stuff?
Oh yeah, it'd be great to get to have a day off work, which would be nice. I think it'll be tough, like something that we probably never experienced. It'll be a weird for our routine because it'll be changed up. We won't be, obviously, training schedule won't be the same due to the change of the days, and obviously the games within the short period of time, and recovery will be prioritised, and it'll be difficult, but something to work through. And then if we can pull it off, then why can't we not do a few more in the future?
Absolutely. So, I mean, as you said, you got 4 games, just in summary here, 4 games of people first team, and 1 in Great Barrier Reef against the Blues in round 2, and a few Melbourne trips which you're keen to have. Yeah,
always happy to get down to the home of the footy down there in Melbourne, and I obviously played a lot of footy down there in my last time at the Pies, and getting back down to the Swinburne Centre would be nice. And I think, obviously we'll grow our fan base as well down there, which is always good. I love playing in Melbourne.
Absolutely. And for the last one, in terms of the fixture, obviously the Q clash at Brighton Homes in round 7. I'm sure that's one marked on the calendar very well for the Suns crew.
Yeah, absolutely. The Q clash is always a game that you don't want to miss, and Brighton Homes is an excellent deck, and we love going out there. We play with great matches out there, and it's their turn to host, and we can't wait to get over and play them.
Sure. Which AFL team did you, AFLW team did you grow up supporting? Obviously, Georgia back in the day. Obviously, now being at Suns, but who did you support before that?
So my granddad played for Footscray, and I was forced, didn't have a choice. So born and bred into supporting Footscray, and it was super awesome to see their success come in 2016, and watch them go from afar, definitely. But they were my team growing up.
Very nice. Who would you say has been one of the toughest opponents, Geordie, in the entire AFLW competition that you've ever had to match up on in that time?
Oh gosh. It's not even sometimes just about matching up against opponents. It's like your own teammates. Like Jamie Lambert, one of the toughest players to play on. Stacey Livingston, I used to train on her a lot down at the Pies. She was one of the hardest but a good challenge, quite healthy competition. Ash Brazel, she's very athletic and can jump, and she's got springs like no tomorrow. Chloe Malloy, so we were down the forward line together, and we used to train really hard on each other, and to the point where people will think like, yeah, we'd get into punch ups, and we'll just be training really hard. And she's very, very explosive, and she's definitely very hard to play on. Obviously, all those girls are now opponents, so I could definitely say them now.
Very nice, some good options there. I was want to talk about one particular player from the Suns, Charlie Robon, obviously very young and obviously one of the best young midfielders in the competition already. How far do you think she can go? Because really right now, at a young age that she's at, she's really taking the competition a lot in that role at the Suns in the midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, she's very strong in her core and very, very hard to tackle herself. I think the world's her oyster, and she has the opportunity to her own. Like, she's, as you said, very young, and she's got everything in front of her. And I think the competition will evolve around her, and it'll take her wherever she wants to go.
Who would you say are some of your favourite teammates at the club?
Vivian Sard. I gelled on with her very, very quickly when I moved up, and she's an awesome egg, and we quite get on very well. Jamie Stanton, known for a long time, a previous teammate of mine at Brisbane. We get on very well too, and they're probably the two in my corner. And then there's definitely a few some just really good people that we've got there, and I'm very lucky to be surrounded by the girls that we do have.
That's good. So what would be some advice, Jordan, that you'd give to some people, young girls that want to get into the competition, or young boys that want to get into the AFL? What advice would you kind of give them on their path to their journey?
I'll just say, don't let anything stop you. Don't give up. You may have some setbacks, and whether that be injuries or knockbacks from not getting into teams or not getting selected, but you never know what opportunities are around the corner. So I just say, don't ever give up. Just keep pushing and seek feedback from coaches, other people. And then the last one would just be, don't ever lose the love of the game, because when you're playing your best footy, you're having fun and loving it. So find what you love about it and make sure that is strong.
For sure, that's some good advice for people to take on board. Who loves the limelight, the attention, and the camera at the Suns, and they can't get enough of it, and they know exactly what to do when the camera's around? Because you can see with all the social posts, you can just tell there's certain few that would always fit this spot at every club. Oh
gosh, I think we had a few that may have departed. We had a few that loved a bit of being behind the camera. But I reckon now, who loves it? Definitely Alana G. She loves being in front of the camera. Gets her TikTok moves. Her and probably one of the new ones, Annabelle Keviot, they love it. Katie Lynch, she's a recruit that's come over from the Doggies. Played previously with her at the Pies as well, actually, and she doesn't mind a few lines in front of the camera too. So definitely, I reckon maybe those three. We've had a bit of a list change, so I reckon once now preseason's coming up on Monday, I might be able to suss out a few more.
I'm sure there'll be some that kind of either get out of their shell and they might surprise you, or it might be the more that they've loved it and they'll just keep being more obsessed with it. But yeah, it's a good thing. What are some fun facts about you, Geordie, that people may not know about you?
Ooh, some fun facts. Not sure. Like, I'm a twin. I'm a twin sister. However, some people do know that because a couple of times when I've been playing, they've gone up to her and asked her for a couple of signatures or photos, and she's made a boy cry, saying, "No, I'm not Jordan. I'm not Jordan." So I'm not sure if that's an unknown fun fact. I'm in the army. I am in the army as a reserve cab trooper. However, that's been displayed across from Air Deck Day. I'm not sure not much else. Obviously my favourite number, 21.
Yeah.
Fun fact, and that was one of the driving forces that got me to the Suns. That was available there, and very fortunate to take that after Crystal Scott. So Sorry, Scotty.
Well, you know what, Geordie, I always had a lot of people with jumper numbers. I always wonder why there's certain numbers, besides maybe like, say, a family link or something like that, why are people so obsessed with certain numbers? So you mentioned yourself before with 21. So it's, you don't, well, I haven't heard at least someone say that a jumper numbers convince them to join the club or part of a reason.
Yeah, look, 21 is pretty significant to me, and it's kind of where my footy journey started. And I was 17, I think, and I was playing for this Sunsets team that was just started on the Gold Coast as a rep side, and it was to get into the Queensland team, and I didn't get selected at this time and at all. And I got a phone call from Craig Starcevich and said, "Hey, George, do you want to come be an emergency and train on for us up for the Queensland team?" And I absolutely jumped on board and went up there and started training and ended up getting elevated into the team. And after that, I actually got played all 3 games, or how many games ever we played, and my number was 21. So that was my first number. And it was just to show that resilience and persevering and the hard work can definitely eventuate, and you can succeed from that. And yeah, so I was a bit attached to that, and was fortunate enough to get it my first time at the Pies, and had a bit of success in it, and then was lucky enough to have the spot there available for up at the Suns. Played a few games in Queensland going up through with that, and obviously my local clubs as well. So, and very fortunate and quite attached to that.
Now, I'm sure, well, I feel, Geordie, that you may have once been mixed up, or you may not have. Obviously, Tim Membrey at St Kilda. Have you ever been called to be related to him at all?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. People do always ask if there's any relation there, which obviously Membrey's not a very common last name. But I'm a teacher as well, and one of my schools that I taught at, they used to, a few of the little kids would be like, "Miss, are you married to Tim Membrey?" I said, "Oh yeah, that wouldn't really work." I misremember. Also, a bit weird that we both had the same last name. But no relationship there at all. But credit to him. He's come back from a battle, and he's doing well.
No, I'm a St Kilda man. It's just, as you mentioned with Tim, had what happened. It's great to see him back on the field and doing well for himself. Great to see. And there's no relation. Just want to clear the air right now. So good. Put
no
to bed. No. Now, I've been calling you Geordie, but is there any nicknames that you get at the club that you like or dislike?
So through my time, I had Jordo, Mems. When I was at the Pies, there was 2 Geordies. There was Geordie Allen and myself, so we used to get confused a lot. So she got Jalen and I got Mems, and then just get a bit of Mems and Geordie at Sun, because there's no other Geordies there. So pretty lucky to keep that one, and pretty easy too. So pretty boring.
Fair enough. Is there any particular things that someone would do at training or in games that you don't like? Like basically, what's something someone does at the club that's annoying, that's frustrating, whether it's trying to jump scare people, leaving rubbish around, just being flat out annoying? Is there anything that anyone does, or anyone in particular that does something that you don't like?
Gosh, I don't think so. No, not that I can really think. I think gonna have to wait again till pre-season. When you sometimes take a bit of time off away from the club, you forget little intricacies that people have or do. And I think we've just moved our lockers around, and so our lockers are as in a little bit, just because of obviously some number changes and things like that, and we don't have a lot of room. So maybe it's just when we've got all got our lockers, everyone's in there at the same time. That can be a little bit hard when you're trying to get your boots out or get in there. And it's more me. I'm the one that has my bag everywhere. So sorry, Daisy and Charlotte.
So Charlotte Wilson, you're talking about then, Daisy Darcy?
Yeah, Daisy Darcy and Charlotte Wilson are my locker buddies. So I feel sorry for them.
Fair enough. I might name that. So if you were to name 3 famous people, dead or alive, who would you like to go out to dinner with?
Oh gosh. Well, one of my favourite doggies players growing up was Daniel John Siracusa. So I'd love to go and have dinner with Gia. I think trying to think who else. Tough question. Nelson Mandela. I think I'd like to have dinner with him, and I think he's quite inspiring. So to listen to his story firsthand, and then Paul de Gelder is a Navy bloke that lost his arm and leg in a shark attack, and I would like to have dinner with him. He's very inspiring. I read his book over the time when I did my ACL, and it was incredible. I was just to see his perseverance and the way that he is now, and so just his journey and post his amputations.
So, Jordan, you mentioned there about when you did do your ACL. How were you in that time, and how did you get through that time? Because I spoke recently to probably the best young player in the competition from most recent draft, Lauren Young. She unfortunately from Parlay. Teresa done her ACL in the Sample W about a month ago, and she's so positive about it. Like, how were you in that time? Were you someone that's tried to get through that? How were you? Because I just don't understand how someone can be positive in a bad situation, but they said, and a few others have said, you got to try and think of it as a good thing. So if you think of it as a bad thing, you might keep dwelling on it. How were you in that time?
Yeah, and sorry to hear about Lauren. I think that is quite devastating, as she was one of definitely the ones to look out for the upcoming competition and the young gun that she is. But I don't doubt that, as with her positive mindset and the club supporting her, she'll be back better and bigger. I think so when I did it, it was obviously very devastating. But again, I was quite positive. It's a bizarre thing, and maybe early days it wasn't great, and because I was quite restricted in bed, and I think after that part, I was just wanting to get moving and set little goals, and you do that, and then when you achieve them, you just keep striving for more. It was after my ACL, I was the fittest and strongest I'd ever been, and I think it's a mental battle, absolutely, and it's not linear, and it's things change and you go up and down, and but I think it's your people around you. Like, I was very unfortunate that it was COVID times, so our access, and like my physio was up in Queensland with the netball girls, so I was very fortunate to go through a company with MFP and have them, and Mitch Greaves in particular, and he was awesome and really made sure that I was strong and fit, and also mentally ready to get back on the park. And the way they go about things is incredible. Obviously, in conjunction with the Pies, were awesome, and my teammates around me were just amazing. So I think it's the people you surround yourself with. You're setting your small goals. Like, again, I was super fortunate. I was living with my auntie at the time, and she was basically my rehab coordinator, my best friend, my psychologist, my cook, my support. So she was amazing. So to have her in my corner, it was unreal. But your body is incredible the way that it is, and I've actually just come back from a shoulder reconstruction as well. So that is what happened in my off season, and it's just your body is so resilient, and like you just got to keep pushing. And I think you got to set small goals. Like, you don't do the work, you're not going to get back on the park. Like, I was unfortunate. I missed, it was round 5. I did it, and then I missed the rest of that season. But then I missed the next whole season because we had that back-to-back year, and it was like one in the February, one in the August, I think, and then one. So you don't push to get back, then you're going to miss even more time. And then it's like, we want to be playing footy, and I just wanted to be challenging my teammates to get better at the time. Like, I remember there was a time where I was training and I was back full training, and Scotty Selwood came up to me and he goes, "Surely, George, you're up for selection this week." And I was like, Scotty, like, I can't, like, I'm not allowed to play this season. And he's like, so just being in that mindset and wanting to be up there with the best and knowing you can, because that puts you in good stead moving forward. And played a few VFL games to get ready, and then it was happy days. But I was so fortunate with my support network and just I was working at the time in a school, so I just dropped down to part time as opposed to being full time, and there was a bit of COVID, which obviously was a battle, and the access to some gym and that was a barrier, but you just make it work. And as you said, I was the fittest, strongest, mentally resilient time in my life, and I think sometimes injuries do that too, and you just appreciate your body more. And it is quite an exclusive club, the ACL club. So I was very lucky. Like, I had a lot of people around me that had reached out that had done it, like Kelsey Brown and Ash Brazel at the club that I was at the time, and so to have them to give support as well was awesome. But again, it's not linear, and like, I had a few setbacks throughout my time, but the support network that you have is definitely one of the most important parts.
Yeah. So just going back to with the fixture before, Geordie, we were talking about it earlier, but overall, from years to come, would you like to see it clearly expand and get to a point where you're at least playing every team once, so you can get rid of the talk about, they've got a better fixture, and once they get to a point, if they play everyone, we can't really argue it then?
I think, me personally, I'd love to see it run the same time frame as the men's. We played 23, 24 rounds, whatever it is. We play the same fixture as the men's. We've all got the same amount of teams currently. We've got the same staff predominantly, a little bit of crossover here and there. So why not just play as a curtain raiser? I'm not opposed to that. I think that's great. I don't not if it's a standalone comp or not. That's what I would like to see personally, especially to the next couple of years. However, obviously I know that we've got a few other teams coming in, but definitely can make that work. That was what I'd like to see. Play 24 rounds in winter like it should be played.
Now, I don't like bringing back bad memories, Geordie, of last season, but obviously that final against the Swans obviously didn't go the way you clearly wanted it to go. But throughout this, I know preseason officially starts Monday, but like, if in that time from when that loss happened, do you kind of like use that as kind of inspiration to get into this year, or do you try and just set and forget it and just move on?
No, absolutely. We'll use it as motivation. Like, obviously, credit to the girls that we got there. I think that's something to also look back on, like the success that we did have. Like, that was our first finals series, and I think that is super important to reflect on. Not the way we wanted it to go, but massive learnings to take from that. We obviously didn't play the Swans throughout the season as well, but take those learnings, use it as motivation, because that's not where we want to finish this year. We want to be up the top.
That's right. And there will be a chance to face the Swans in season. I think it's round 8, I think it is, in Sydney. So that'd be like the revenge.
I think it is one of the last ones. So which would be awesome. So I think, to take them on in Sydney, and they get the biggest crowds down there at Henson Park as well. And obviously it's not too far from the Gold Coast, so I'm sure there'll be a fair few Gold Coast fans making their way there. I think it'll be a great game. They sell out down at Henson, and it's an excellent local ground to be playing at.
So look, mate, I remember they saying they were sold out there every time. I think when they were there, it looks to be a decent crowd to be at as well. Now, obviously, Geordie, playing up 40, kick a bunch of goals throughout your time, and even in the AFLW. What would you say is the best goal you've ever kicked?
Gosh, the best goal I ever kicked. To be honest, the first one I ever kicked, being my first kick in the AFL, but it wasn't even the goal itself. It was actually my teammates getting around me, which is one of the best feelings that you can have. It's like the team gets to the position to get a goal, but the feeling of your teammates getting around you. That one, and then the one that I kicked, I think post ACL. We were playing Carlton, and I kicked one of the goals down at Icon there, and again, similar thing, just the feeling of your teammates getting around you. I hadn't been out in the park for over 500 and something days, whatever it was, and like everyone getting around you is an incredible feeling. I think it was even down from backstack coming down to the so I think those two are one of the two quite memorable to me. it's an incredible feeling that your teammates get around you. And then obviously my first one for the Suns as well, down again at Icon. I love playing down there, and I think that's a fantastic ground for AFLW for spectators and the teams itself. So would love to see a lot more games getting played there, to be able to do my work for the team and get it done for them. There's probably three of my most memorable. Funnily enough, for all my three different clubs.
I was just going to bring that up, Jordy. Like you get the celebration 3 times. You had with the Pies, now recently the Suns, and I was at the start of the Lions. So you get the celebration, you get the jump on. In any of those 3 goals and the return from the ACL goal, did you ever get any little poke in the eyes or no blood noses or anything out of that? Just stayed nice and cool.
No, I think I don't think I got any blood noses or pokes in the eye. I was unfortunately when I was coming back from my ACL and I broke my finger, so I think I broke it maybe 3 weeks out from round 1 and had to have surgery, but that did not stop me. I was very determined to get back on that park after long rehab. So I was pretty devastated when that happened. But very fortunate. We're very lucky within our systems that the access we do have to the surgical teams and I think I had the X-ray on the Saturday and into surgery on the Monday, and then we were playing the 2 weeks later. So very lucky for our medical staff that we do have.
That's good. If your teammates, Jordy, were to describe you in a word or a sentence, how would they describe you?
Oh gosh.
Would it be good?
I don't know. I think they would describe me as hardworking would be the word.
Very good. Who is the club comedian, and who thinks they're funny and they're not, or they are?
Alana G. I think she thinks she's funny. She's definitely not. And then I think just some of the young kids do just silly stuff like forget to fill their car with fuel and run out of fuel, or just leave stuff behind, and they're probably just more being a bit ditzy than funny or comedians. Whereas I think Alana G thinks she's funny, but she's definitely not.
Steph, now who would be the one where you would go out to dinner with teammates? Who would be the one that would avoid paying?
Oh gosh, it'd be her too. Alana G would just be forget and then just walk out. She would just, and then she'd be like, oh, I didn't even realize that it didn't happen. And and someone else would have to fix it up, and then not even sure if she'd ever chase it up. But definitely her. She would be.
Fair enough, Steph, Alana. But anyway, here we are.
Yeah, Alana.
Decent player. We'll end it on a positive note for her. Playing all right last year.
Yeah, no, Alana's, she's come through the academy system and she's unreal, can kick both feet, left and right, very efficient. She's been training very hard in the off-season, and I look forward to seeing her get back out in the park this season ahead. And she's a ripper.
Absolutely. I actually got the honour to meet her at one of those Icon Park games where you probably kicked that goal at. After the game, got to meet her and have a chat for a few minutes, which was nice. So she's a good person. That's why I just wanted to clear the air there and ended on a good note for her.
She knows that. I love her, and she's a good one.
All tongue-in-cheek. But now there might be more tongue-in-cheek, and she may feature again here, so there might be coincidental. These are some teammates' questions, Jordy. I love asking everyone these because you always get some interesting answers. So the first one is, who's the best chatterbox of the club?
Chatterbox? Gosh, I reckon it's potentially Clara. She does not shut up, Clara Fitzpatrick. But you ask her, she only speaks if spoken to, but does not shut up.
Interesting. Who's the loudest and quietest teammates?
Loudest? Oh, gosh. Loudest, potentially. Oh, I'm trying to think. Maybe Darcy Davies. She's pretty loud. Charlie's pretty loud. The quietest, though, would probably be Kiara Bisher. She hardly speaks. And maybe even Keely. Keely's pretty quiet too. They're two new draftees there.
I feel like sometimes, Jordy, some people, they kind of generally they will start really quiet when they come into town, like kind of fit in, I guess, and then maybe as the season starts or a year or two after, they go from that quiet one you mentioned, and then there'll be the opposite category next.
Yeah, absolutely, and then they won't shut up. And no, I think obviously just find your way through the team and where you gel, and then absolutely, I think after I've got a footy camp coming up pretty soon, I think that'll definitely get some girls out of their shells, and we'll get to know each other on a bit of a deeper level, and that's what you want, connect, and then definitely be a lot of chatterboxes.
Absolutely. Now, if you were stuck on a deserted island with teammates, Geordie, who are you bringing and not bringing, and why?
I'd be bringing Jamie Sten. I think she would know how to navigate a few things. I think she's pretty good on the tools, I reckon. Yep. I would be bringing, Viv Sard. I think she would also know her way around things, but also she's very good company. So we could just, all three of us get on really well as well. So that'd be good. I think, I reckon I might bring also Clara. She's been doing a bit of things in the off season. She got her forklift license. She's had to do a lot of flat packs across her time. So I think she would be nice to have on there. Who I'm not bringing. I am not going to bring. Probably not going to bring. Who am I not bringing? I'm trying to think. Maybe Darcy Davey. She's not very sure she's very street smart, so I don't know if I would like her on my island. Great human, great player, but typical ruck. So definitely,
But good word as well in there as well. It's good. Now, speaking of Darcy, obviously you've got 3 sisters in the comp, or another one in the overtime as well. Does Darcy ever talk about her being number 1, and do you feel like the others would do the same?
No, especially because Giselle moved from our team just in this break, just gone now. So you got one at Sydney, one at GWS, Fleurs at GWS, and then there's, as you said, there's a few more coming through the systems at the moment who they're credit to their parents. Are just elite family coming through. Like, I'm pretty sure their dad played rugby union or something, and mum played netball. So yeah, credit to their family. They've got very sporting genes, and I think they're very supportive of each other. Their family's very supportive, so it's not necessarily number 1. It's just everyone doing their best, and I'm sure there's a little bit of sister rivalry. Like when we played GWS, Fleur and Das were at it, and yeah, definitely. I think always a little bit of rivalry, but nothing like healthy competition within sisters. But yeah, no malice in it, and definitely hasn't said that she's number 1, or I'm sure maybe she does behind closed doors and to the sisters themselves, but does not boast about it. Yeah.
That's fair enough. All right, so defenders, I feel like deserve a bit more love at AFL and AFLW level, Jordan, than what they truly get. Obviously, as you'll be well aware, the forwards got the Coleman, the mids got the Brownlow. Even rucks get recognised in Brownlow votes. CHC, Ali Morford, Matilda Schultz, etc. get mentioned in them votes now all the time. Do you feel that defenders deserve their own official title of an award as well?
Yeah, I reckon defenders absolutely do. They're rock solid down there. They start your attack, and they work super hard and don't necessarily get the recognition that they do deserve. I think there's definitely different, roles down there too. So it does make it hard. I think, they do. They're the backbone of the game, and not sure what it would look like. Maybe introducing an official golden fist or an official lockdown or something like that. But no, I think Soph Casey, one of the greats down there, locking down the best forwards pretty much every week for the Pies last year, and/or Viv Sard gets a tough forwards for us every week, and they play their role significantly. And you got also the running halfbacks that also you play quite a role too. I don't know. It's hard. You've got the interceptors as well, which Kate Luckin's one of the best defenders I've ever played with and/or against, and what she got a best on ground and a premiership medal. So they're definitely deserving when they do play their roles and play well. And I think it's a team effort usually within the defensive structure as it is. So for Latzi to play her game with that, everyone else has to play their role. I don't know what do you call it? Don't know. The Latzi Award. I'm all about it.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, Golden Fist would be a good name for it. And obviously, like Danny Frawley had that name on bounds and everything. I like it. I mean, it might have been used as a piss take at first, that award, like on the show, but I mean, I think it'd be a perfect one. Now, this could be interesting. If you could steal one player, Geordie, from another club to join Gold Coast that's currently in the competition right now, again, it could be as unrealistic as you like, who are you poaching from another club?
Oof. Selfish reasons, I would be poaching Stacey Livingston, because then she would have to live up here with me, and I'd be bringing her partner Sarah and her little baby Hunter. So they would be coming up, and it'd be purely for selfish reasons that I just want them up here. Stacey's parents are up here too, so I'm sure it'd be an easy pull to get her up here. She's a super hard worker. I think would be very beneficial to our group. A leader in itself, Foghorn can hear it from all over the ground. Definitely been involved for a long time, a veteran, within the group. Oh gosh, there'd be actually a fair few. Like, I'd love Jamie Lambert up here. She's again one of the quiet achievers, hard worker, very good disposal, finds the ball, kicks it efficiently. And people want to be better because of her. It's, as I said, difficult. Love to have Steph Kiochi. She's an unreal leader. To have her. Bree Davey, again, another leader. Gosh, I could probably, you end up talking about the All-Australian side, and you want them all. Lauren Zaghetti, again, another hardworking human that I've encountered with, that I would love her to be on my team, and had to play against her a few times in some of the twos matches that we played last year. And gosh, she's a tough nut, and she's got her head screwed on straight, and she's going to be a future star, that's for sure. So watch out for her.
I'm sure some decent names that you just mentioned there. Now, this is the hot topic food questions, Geordie. I mean, I don't understand why people here in Australia get so worked up over these questions and debates. So how this will work, there's going to be 6 food questions. For context, only 7 people have got the first question illogically wrong, because I feel like you can't call it anything else. Only a bunch of people, the lowest anyone scored is 3 out of 6, and only 12 people have ever got all 6 to how I would answer them. So how do you feel you'll go?
Well, look, I'll aim for half. So what's that? 3 out of 6.
Yes,
that's a pass mark. That's
50%. No one's ever got 2 or less. And I feel like these first 2 questions will probably tell how the other 4 will go. So let's see how we go here.
Let's see how we go.
Now, you've been in Melbourne before, so this could be an interesting answer. Chicken palmy, is it a palmy or is it something else?
Oh, it's definitely a palmy.
Oh, thank Christ. I was worried, because when I said the illogical wrong answer, 7 people have said some silly answer that's not that. I mean, I just tell them, spell it out. It's an I, obviously.
It's how it's spelled, palmy.
Yeah, and for the people that said otherwise, I actually converted 2 of those 7 people back to palmy, but the other 5, I asked them for their reason. They're like, it just is. I'm like, that's not a reason, but whatever. But good, wonderful.
Yeah, that is not a reason, but okay.
That's exactly what I said. I said, okay. Number 2, pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Yes, absolutely. All about it.
Okay, I won't give that one. 1 for 2, but that's okay. No. That's right. Tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
Cupboard.
Good answer. I like that too. Very good. Favorite food?
Favorite food, chocolate.
So we were on 3 already. So you're killing it, Joy. 3 for 4. All right. A food you don't like?
Fruit I don't like. Not a fan. Oh, I don't like it. Don't like. I'm not very picky. Like, not a huge fan of mango, but I would eat it. But I wouldn't choose it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
I'm not very picky with food, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give it a cross then, because mango's all right, and like it's not bad. That's okay. Got the mark at least. And the last one for the food side of things. Favorite takeaway place? What's your cheat meal, basically?
Favorite takeaway. Look, I think you can't go past Wicked Wings at KFC. So KFC.
Okay, that's probably the only takeaway place I don't like. So that's 3 out of 6, but that's okay. I'm more of a McDonald's or a Subway or a Hungry Jack's. Well, more the first two. Anyway, fair enough. All right. So I've got a few more for you, Geordie. So I do appreciate you coming on and giving us some time. If you're in charge, this is interesting, being an AFLW player. If you're in charge of the AFLW competition, you're the CEO for a day, Geordie. What rules are you adding and/or removing?
Well, for starters, braids should be allowed to be played. So be adding in that you can play with braids in your hair. I would be removing the I don't know, I quite like the last touch out of bounds rule because it keeps the game going slow. I'd probably be removing the rotation limit. Rotation. Yeah. That would be my 2.
That's the good ones. With the team sheet too, I just want to bring this one up since we kind of hinted at it there. With the playing starting lineups, obviously it's one less forward and one less defender. Would that be something you like that where you have 2 extra players on the field, or are you happy with that?
Been playing with 16 on the field for so long now. It's kind of normal, I suppose. I am not opposed to it. I think it's fine. Like, I think that the reason behind it was the congestion piece, and I think that it definitely helps navigate that or alleviate. Sorry, that. Yeah, look, I'd be interested to see how it would work if we did have 18 again, because a lot of the girls that have been playing at that level, and I don't know if it, like for our quaffle level, it filters down. Like we only play with 16 on. Pretty sure VFL do too.
Yes.
Unsure, you know. So like if, and you have to change a lot of other fields as well. Again, like, you know, changes are made, but yeah, not really opposed. I actually think it's fine. I quite like it.
No worries. Most prized possessions that you own?
Oh, I just bought a new car, so that is definitely one of my most prized possessions. I bought a Ford Ranger, so yeah, that is probably one of my best things. I am a bit of a hoarder, so I have all my jumpers that I've played in from when I was at Sunsets right the way through to last year. They're pretty important and pretty special. Pretty special to me. No, I think I've got, yeah, they're probably my 2 most prized. And then just I actually just recently got some tattoos with my nana and granddad's names on them, and my grandma, a song she used to sing to me as well. So they're yeah, pretty important to myself as well.
Very nice. Game day superstitions, Geordie. Have you got any game day superstitions you must hold to?
No, not really. I like to have a bit of a Nutella or a peanut butter sandwich. That's about it.
Yeah.
Nothing too superstitious. You know, we, especially as an interstate team last year, but also throughout the years, you have to adapt and change a lot due to grounds, things that happen. Like I think we played in Adelaide last year. Sorry, not last year, year before, and that was a massive storm, and like we stopped it. I think it was half time, and then we had to go back out and in, and like things happen. So you got to be able to adjust, and yeah. So I don't have too many superstitions. Yeah.
That's fair. Favorite music?
I'm a country music gal, so love the country. Sam Hunt, is one of my favourites. He's a Canadian. Never been to Australia, so I'd love to see him get down here. Luke Combs, obviously, Zach Bryan. Massive Florida line. Got to see them live, which is pretty unreal. Unfortunately, CMC used to happen during mid-March, which was we were talking about CMC.
That's it. Yep.
So CMC's always been around the same time as the AFL. So yet to get to one, but that's my goal. So I'd love the country music.
Very good. That's some decent ones there. Gold Coast fans, what game do you lock in the calendar? I'm sure the Q Clash is probably one, but is there a particular game this year that you're looking forward to that you're keen? Is it round one? Is it the Lions? Is it the Revenge on the Swans? Which one is it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly get up the calendar again because I think as you said, Q Clash always a massive rivalry there to get to. I think round one will be unreal because it's against some quality opposition, St Kilda. Also, round one's always the best to get to with obviously our hard work going into the season and being at People First Stadium, which is an incredible stadium to be at. I'm just having a look. I think Monica Oval. I think Giants. That will be a great game again. Monica is insane. So to play that game, and then obviously, as you said, the Henson Park one down in Sydney I reckon they'd be the top ones to get to. Again, Henson Park, Sydney fans are just one-eyed Sydney, and it's not even the fact that it's potentially Swan supporters. It's just that they love Sydney that much, which again I'm all about. I think they are great. So if we can get a bit of extra yellow and blue down there with the red would be awesome. They're probably the main ones. Your round one, your Sydney, Q Clash, and then Monica down in Canberra.
That's definitely some games for people to look forward to for sure. Have you ever fallen victim, Geordie, to people asking for footy boots?
No, actually, not on game day. I've had some people ask for them which I have given because they were ones that I weren't or I was done with or whatever, so they were signed and I have given those ones on, but not on game day. So it's quite difficult. I don't think sometimes fans. I don't know if it's like what it's like for some of the clubs, but it can be quite difficult to get the second and third pair and then wear them in and like that in the turnaround. But we're only allocated a few a year, so makes it a little bit difficult.
That's fair. Now I just want to wrap up some bold predictions for the club. Who do you feel? Is there just any bold predictions in general that you got? I don't have to be under a particular banner. Who would you have as some bold predictions, Geordie, you want to make for this upcoming season? What would they be?
I think that Charlotte Wilson is going to have an incredible year. I think she's going to be rock solid down back. I think she's going to be super athletic and she'll be one to watch out for. I think she'll be dangerous. I think that you got to watch out for Claudia Whitford in the middle. She's always getting the footy, quite an achiever, and works really hard in there. So maybe, she obviously came second in the AFLW Best and Fairest. So incredible achievement to her. So I think that that'll be. I should maintain that status absolutely. I reckon. Jamie Stanton might be up there with the goal kicking. So watch out for that.
I think Jamie, I don't know the exact position, but I swear she was top 3 or 5 in this year's goal kicking this year. And if not, for the most part of the year, I think she was in top 3.
Yeah, she had an unreal year. She kicked 5 or 6, I can't remember, against the West Coast, and don't worry, we all knew about it. And yeah, so I think she'll definitely be up there again with the goalkeeping.
For sure, and some good ones. I got to meet Charlotte. I've met a lot of players at the season when we bring names up here. But I met Charlotte wasn't last year. I was at the Demons group in person, and that could be one who didn't get many opportunity at Melbourne, obviously with their star-studded backline that they've had for so long. But good to see how she goes, and obviously some other names that you mentioned as well. So one more, Geordie. So no pressure coming on. If you could map out an ideal world for the Suns this year, how would you love this season to pan out, and what do you expect? More importantly,
I think we've got a very good healthy list this pre-season. I think only a few of us that are just transitioning from rehab back into the main group, myself included in that. And I think that healthy list start us off strong. I think we're going to have a really, really superb off season into pre-season. We're just going to be rolling through. We'll be hitting the ground running. Round 1, we'll be ready for it, and we'll be starting strong. And I think every game we'll take our learnings. I think obviously, very, very hard to predict sometimes some of the things. Like we've had a bit of a list change over. A lot of clubs have changed a little of their personnel, and but I think we're in good stead, and we've got some really good coaching staff, and I think we get set up pretty well up here in Queensland, being a little bit out of the bubble, but also with a bit of humidity and a bit of weather. Can't wait to start training during the day and just be able to be out in the sun and working really hard and being out there with our mates. And very fortunate enough to have People First Stadium right there at our disposal to use, and right next to our facilities. So that's just unreal. And I think we'll be definitely up there challenging the best. So
absolutely, Geordie. Absolutely. I mean, having some new players coming in and some players leaving and etc. could sometimes bring unpredictability, but sometimes that could be a good thing. Geordie, it's been a pleasure having you on, and all the best from Monday onwards and the rest of the season upcoming. Appreciate you coming on.
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time as well. And let's go Suns, hey?